Well, a very good evening to you and a warm welcome to TV47 Weekend. I trust you're doing well this 4th day of June 2021, and of course, happy new month. My name is Musa Salah. We have a lot lined up for you, but first, here are the top stories making headlines tonight. Tonight, President Uhuru Kenyatta presides over the swearing-in of 34 judges at State House just a day after he appointed them to various capacities amid backlash for leaving out 6 others. Also tonight, a section of Kikuyu Council of Elders conduct a cleansing ceremony at the Mukuru Nyagadanga Shrine as Murang'a Governor Mwangi wa Iria insists Justin Muturi is not Mount Kenya spokesman. Tension is high in Siaya County as COVID-19 positivity rate rises to 32%. Siaya residents are now 5 times more at risk of contracting COVID-19. And a girl returns home in Narok to an emotional reception after a 12-year exile, running away from FGM and forced marriage. Welcome to the broadcast. Chris Onyango is our sign language interpreter. TV47 Weekend begins right now. Residents of Siaya County are at a 5 times risk of contracting COVID-19 as the infection rate in the county reaches 32% over the past 5 days. Speaking during the county COVID-19 update by the Emergency Response Committee, County Commissioner Mohammed Barre says out of 426 tests conducted in Siaya in the last 5 days, 138 people turned positive. The county has today recorded a total of 66 cases, making it the top leading county in the distribution of cases per county. Here is Zainab Mohammed with the details.
Fear and alarm continues to rise in Nyanza region as the country's epicenter threatens to shift to the lakeside region that is continuously recording a surge in COVID-19 infections. In a county COVID-19 update by the Emergency Response Committee, residents of Siaya County are reported to be at a 5 times risk of contracting the deadly virus as the infection rate in the county reaches 32% over the past 5 days.
Na watu 85 ambao walipatikana kwa hii ugonjwa, na kwa jumla wale walitestiwa walikuwa 426. Hii ni kumaanisha wale ile positivity rate ya hii Siaya County ni 32 na ya taifa ni 6%. Hapa ni 32%. Tuko juu sana, na hii ni hatari kwa wananchi wema wa Siaya.
According to Siaya County Commissioner Mohammed Barre, out of 426 tests conducted in Siaya in the last 5 days, 138 people turned positive.
Kuanzia tarehe 27 mwezi wa 5 na tarehe 2 mwezi huu, watu 138 walipatikana na hii virusi kati ya watu waliofanyiwa testing. Hii ikilinganishwa na wale waliofanyiwa testing wiki iliyopita, hawa ni wengi kushinda wale wengine.
Kisumu, Siaya and Nairobi counties have in the past few weeks been the top 3 leading counties in the distribution of cases per county. Siaya County on Friday leading with a total of 66 cases. Meanwhile, the country has today recorded a total of 284 new COVID-19 cases, 124 recoveries and 17 new COVID-19 related deaths. Zainab Mohammed, T47.
Well, thank you, Zainab Mohammed, for that report. Now, moving on to the corridors of justice, Chief Justice Martha Koome is blowing hot and cold on the contentious appointment of 34 judges and rejection of 6 others by President Uhuru Kenyatta. In a statement sent to newsrooms moments ago, CJ Koome says she had no part to play in the appointment of the judges and that the role of the JSC ceased the moment the list of 41 judges was handed to the president. Also in the statement, CJ Martha Koome calls on the president to appoint the 6 judges. She insists on the independence of the judiciary, saying no person or authority is allowed to direct the JSC or the judiciary in the execution of their mandate.
Prejudice or any political, religious, or other influence. In the exercise of the judicial functions entrusted to me, I will.
Quite an interesting statement there by Chief Justice Martha Koome on the appointment of, or rather leaving out 6 judges out of the 41 judges submitted to President Uhuru Kenyatta. Now moving on, a section of members of the Kiama and the Kikuyu Council of Elders today conducted a cleansing ceremony at the Mukuru wa Nyagathanga Shrine in Murang'a County, just 2 days after the coronation, or rather just 2 weeks after the coronation of National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi at the shrine. According to the elders, Muturi's coronation ceremony desecrated the shrine and hence the need for cleansing it. More than 2,000 elders from the Kiama and Kikuyu Council of Elders congregated at the Mukuru wa Nyagathanga Shrine in Murang'a County to cleanse the shrine, later on proceeding to the Mumbi grounds in Murang'a town for special prayers. The cleansing ceremony follows National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi's coronation as Mount Kenya spokesman at the shrine 2 weeks ago.
We came to do a cleansing ceremony of our shrine, our holy shrine of the Kikuyu and Mumbi. That is our krando.
Kwa hivyo sisi kama Wakikuyu wa Mount Kenya na pahali popote Mount Kenya region na wale wako diaspora, wacheni tusikane na tuongee na lugha moja.
The elders have been divided by Muturi's coronation, with a section of Kiama elders leading Muturi's coronation ceremony against the will of their Kikuyu Council of Elders counterparts. According to the Kikuyu Council of Elders, Muturi's coronation ought to have been done elsewhere and not at the shrine, which is believed to be the origin of the Kikuyu community. The elders further insisted that the invited guests at the shrine during the coronation ceremony desecrated the shrine, and that anyone intending to attend such a ceremony should cleanse and stay in seclusion for at least 21 days.
Ilipata uchafu wakati ilitembelewa na watu wengi. Watu hao wengi hawakuwa wamechaguliwa kufanya sadaka au kufanya mambo ya kuomba hapa katika huu Mukuru wa Nyagathanga. Na hiyo sehemu kwa maana ni takatifu, sisi tukaona kwa maana imechafuliwa, sisi tukiwa Kikuyu Council of Elders na Kiama tukaona ni vizuri tusafishe ili kiwe chafi, na wakati wote tukirudi hapa tufanye bila kuwa na matatizo ya kuogopa uchafu.
Divisions over Muturi's coronation first began when Murang'a Governor Mwangi wa Iria and Agriculture CS Peter Munya rubbished the ceremony, forcing Wairia to call for the cleansing of the Mukuru wa Nyagathanga Shrine.
For those who came here on 4th, on 22nd May, they are not representative, they are not the border feeder officials of the elders. So whatever they did has been cleansed and it is now null and void. So Muturi should never open his mouth or even think or imagine that he's the spokesman of Kikuyu community.
We have said, we have cleansed, and he is not our spokesman.
Back to the matters related to the appointment of 34 judges that we earlier on spoke about. Despite the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association and the Law Society of Kenya hitting out at President Uhuru Kenyatta for the selective appointment of 34 judges and rejecting 6, the head of state has today presided over their swearing-in ceremony at State House in Nairobi. Now Grace Josephine is here with the details of the executive-judiciary love-hate relationship.
The Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association has reminded President Uhuru Kenyatta that he no longer bears the power to appoint judges, unlike prior to the promulgation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. In a press statement, KMJA affirmed that such a decision now solely lies with the Judicial Service Commission for the nomination to the Appellate Land and Labour Courts. The association has called upon the head of state to immediately gazette the 6 judges who were left out. They include Justices Joel Ngugi, George Odunga, Agri Muchelule and Weldon Korir, who had been nominated to the Appellate Court, but the president referred them back to the Judicial Service Commission for quote-unquote failing to meet the required threshold. Also not making it to the list of appointees were Registrar Judith Omange and Chief Magistrate Evans Makori, both nominated to the Environment and Lands Court. The Law Society of Kenya also joined the judges and magistrates bandwagon, harshly criticizing the president for overlooking his constitutional mandate and rejecting the 6 out of the 41 judges nominated by the JSC. Through a press release, the Premier Bar Association termed the move unconstitutional since the appointment exceeded the 14 days time frame since the nomination in July 2018, and secondly, changing, reviewing or rejecting the names contravenes Article 166 of the 2010 Constitution. The Judicial Service Act provides that even the JSC shall not reconsider its nominees after the names are submitted to the President, except in the case of death, incapacity or withdrawal of a nominee. In a show of might between the two arms of government, the judiciary versus the executive, President Uhuru Kenyatta at State House on Friday afternoon swiftly presided over the swearing-in ceremony of the 34 judges he had picked.
Just like you today, I too took an oath to both the letter and the spirit of the law, and it is not open to me to turn a blind eye to reports of our state organs.
Uhuru's selective appointment of judges continues to elicit a storm, with lawmakers and analysts joining the public uproar. A section of leaders lamented the lack of a Western region representatives on Uhuru's list. Others sought clarification on the grounds that the 6 were dismissed.
But I'm surprised. Nilipoona nikasoma majina, hakuna mtu kutoka mkoa huu. Therefore, I'm also taking this opportunity kumwambia rais wetu Mheshimiwa Uhuru wa Kenyatta ya kwamba asisahau sisi pia ni wengi.
Lobby group Linda Katiba Institute has filed a petition at the High Court contesting the judges' selection and omission process. The activists have also faulted the AG Kihara Kariuki for misadvising the president, yet he sat in the JSC during the interviews of the 41 judges. Grace Josephine for TV47, Nairobi.
Now shifting gears to Western Kenya, cane farmers from Mumia's East and Mumia's West sub-counties have protested today, alleging political interference in matters a revival of Mumia's sugar company. This comes after the prospective investor Devki Steel Mills Limited announced the withdrawal of its bid to lease Mumia's sugar company.
The farmers demonstrated from Lubinu to Shianda Market, accusing local leaders in interfering in Mumia's Sugar Company revival plans initiated by KCB Bank through receiver manager Rao Ponangipal.
Nataka tuombe investor, ukipenda usifuate maneno ya wanasiasa wote. We are inviting you. You have all our support and we shall support you 100%.
Nataka tukue na mahali tunapeleka miwa. Haja yetu ni machine kuguruma.
Hawa wananchi wanateseka, hawana ajira, hawana kazi, na diposa tumeandamana leo.
Led by Peter Salasia, farmers have pleaded with prospective investor Raval Devki not to take out his early application to revive the ailing plant.
Sisi tunaomba Devki, ukipenda kama venye wewe ulikuwa umeandika kwa mtandao, kwa newspaper, ya kwamba you are a God sent to come to save us. Tunakuomba kama hata ulikuwa umewithdraw, please, we beg you. We as the people, don't look at the views of the people, of the politicians.
Sahi watu wa pikipiki tumekopa mapikipiki za loan. Hakuna ule mtu mwenye unaweza pepe upeleke factory.
kwa sababu ataenda kufanya nini huko na mashini imeanguka.
They said the closure of the once giant company has negatively impacted on Western region economy, which has driven them in abject poverty.
Kabla tujapata investor kutambia kuingia kwa hiyo mashini, atueleze pamoja na yule aliyemweka kama ni serikali utaratibu ambao unahitaji.
Na mara hii tunasema maneno ya brokers kutokanga kwa kudanganya kila wakati, mara hiyo hatutaki. Wanangoja wewe, hatutaki, tunataka factory ifanye nini? Iendelee. Na mkurugenzi mwenye amekuja mara hii atuambie ukweli. Hatutaki maneno ya kudanganywa kila saa. Wanakula pesa Mumias wanaenda. Wanaweka wengine wanaenda. Sisi wanatuacha watu wa Mumias. Hatuna mwelekeo. Watoto wetu hawana kazi. Factory ilianguka. Masomo watoto hata hawaendi shuleni.
Sisi wa mama Mumias tunateseka. Tuko na factory yetu. Tunaenda Saudia tunauawa na Mumias yuga ika hapa. Sana tuta agenda kututetea wanamgonga. Wanataka tufanye aje?
A section of political leaders from Western region made a delegation to Raval Devki, who was ready to pump 5 billion in the ailing company, urging him to reconsider his decision to pull out of the process.
We are pleading with Devki to rescind his decision and return on board, negotiate with KCB and ensure that they invest the 5 billion in Mumias Sugar Company so that the company can start operating for the benefit of the farmers, the workers and the general economy of that region.
Kama kuna mtu ana uwezo wa kufufua kiwanda chetu cha Mumias, tunataka huyo mtu.
Through a statement to the media outlets, Receiver Manager Rao Ponangipal said the process attracted 8 bids and evaluation test was based on technical and financial capability. He promised to meet all stakeholders' interest once the process is done. Violet Auma, TV47, Kakamega.
Well, keep talking to us. 22047 is our SMS line. You can also find us on social media at TV47 Kenya on Facebook, as well as at TV47K on Twitter. The hashtag to use is TV47 Weekend. We'll take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
You see the woman you keep on admiring? They might be going through the same pain that you're going through right now, the same grief that you're going through now, or even the same disease that you are suffering with right now. Why can't I see clearly? But the only difference between you and them is that, yes, they cried, but they managed to learn through the pain and they came out as conquerors.
I stayed for like 2 years without having a job. I cannot even do a simple thing like taking a shower.
So Joy, you can imagine every day you're waking up, going to work, and knowing for sure, you have a dead baby.
Join me each and every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on 19 with Joy Irungu here on TV47.
At Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits, convenient four-story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute.
You're watching TV47 Weekend. Now, after a decade of being fugitive from her native home in a move that was aimed at saving her future from the wrath of culture, Sylvia Kosikil is today a proud youth who stands out from the crowd to be emulated for the bold steps she took to make it in life. Our reporter Willie Dennis Njiru has an in-depth insight of her 12-year journey away from home.
Brave and naive 8-year-old Sylvia Kosikil would opt to run away from home to avert the wrath of customary rituals that would have indeed destined her life different from what it is today. Running away to this safe house was an actual realization of her dreams.
Sasa nilikuwa naona watoto wengine wakienda shule na mimi siendi na feel vibaya, na pia nilikuwa na hiyo passion ya kwenda shule.
Having been opted out for being female, she was mandated with homestead chores, awaiting to be married off, and attempts to reach a school gate proved futile.
Kuna brother babangu pia anakuanga na shamba. Nikaenda nikafanya kibarua. Nikanunua uniform ya shule. Shule ya huko kwetu ni hiyo day school tu, so haitaji vitu mingi, maybe uniform tu. And then babangu, I told my mother nataka kwenda shule but sitaki baba ajue. Na nilikuwa mtoto mdogo tu hivyo. Sasa my mother akakuwa na hiyo sijui hata ana hiyo secret ama nini. I wanted to go to school without my father's knowledge. So venye nilimwambia mama hiyo secret, akamwambia baba, na hiyo plan zangu zikafail, kaniambia huwezi enda shule.
It was at this juncture that she broke the ties with her parents and found a new mother who offered new wool in the coldest of seasons.
Huyu msichana tulimchukua akiwa mdogo, tukaanza na yeye akiwa class 3 na akafika mpaka form 4. Na sasa amepata C+, anatarajia kwenda college.
Sikupita poa but nilipata C+. Nataka kwenda kufanya nursing.
It has been 12 years now, and on this day, the ever-grinning girl expressed her gratitude to the center and management as she says goodbye to her colleagues as it was time to get back to her native home at Wasongero.
After being away for 12 years, I'm so happy to be with my parents again. I don't know how to express my feelings, but I'm so happy.
Here, the union was characterized by free-flowing tears as family, friends and neighbors converged to welcome back a brave girl who braved it all to send a message.
Tunashukuru Mungu kwa sababu msichana sasa atakaa nyumbani pamoja na wazazi wao, pamoja na hii jamii yao ambayo ilikuja kuwa pamoja wakimpokea.
Hii msichana yangu ilikuwa nampenda yeye sana, lakini ilikuwa nataka yashunge ng'ombe. Ilikuwa nataka yashunge ng'ombe, alafu nipeane. Lakini Mungu ana mpango yake ya kwenda kumaliza, kwenda kuwa mtu ya maana sana. Kwa sababu kuwa mtu ya maana.
With so much to learn from her experience, the parents, neighbors and relatives condemning the act that had to cost so much pain, disunity and mistrust in the proper upbringing of children.
Tumekuja kufanya reconciliation kwa sababu kwa kimila ya Kimasai tunakuanga na hiyo structure ya reconciliation.
Kwetu sasa kama kimila ya Kimasai tukutarajia kuwa ati kama mtoto msichana ana uwezo kama mwanaume.
Washani mambo ya kupeana msichana kama bado hajamaliza masomo.
Wapee watoto chance wa kusoma. Kama mtu uko na hiyo passion, hiyo nini ya kusoma, wape tu chance. Hata afadhali hata mtoto ya fail mwenyewe.
An inspiration to a young girl in a role played by one of them in sending a message to end the retrogressive cultural practice. The 2011 FGM Act is a key milestone towards enhancing the obliteration of the cat, an enforcement that was affirmed by President Kenyatta 2 years ago.
Ninafuraha sana kwa sababu amerudishwa nyumbani na nimepokea yeye kwa furaha, kwa roho safi na makaribisha. Mimi nabariki yeye sana.
For TV 47, I'm Willie Dennis Njiru.
Na njogele ngoshoge amu etu aisho.
Quite an inspiring story there, the story of Sylvia Kosikil. Keep talking to us. 22047 is our SMS line. You can also find us on social media at TV47 Kenya on Facebook, as well as at TV47K on Twitter. The hashtag to use is TV47 Weekend. Now, moving on, residents of Limuru, Kiambu County have today appealed for more efforts to be directed towards enhancing security in the area following increased cases of motorbike theft and killings targeting boda riders. This was said at the burial of Albert Njenga, a slain boda rider who was killed a fortnight ago. Daniel Masiza has the details.
A somber mood engulfed Ndeya village on Friday during the burial of 23-year-old Albert Njenga, a boda rider who was killed last month. Speaking during the burial, the residents claim that until now, no suspect has been charged with the gruesome murder.
Siku ambazo zimepita hivi karibuni, tumeona vituko vikifanyika, watu wanauawa, tulipata kijana mwingine aliuawa na hakuna jambo limetendeka. Lakini kwa sababu County Commissioner amekuja, Governor amekuja na wametuhakikishia kuwa tutakuwa na usalama, tuna imani kuwa vile wametuambia na vile wameanza kufanya tutapata haki.
Usalama wetu ama haki yenye tuko nayo ni tukiona kitendo kimetendeka. Kwa sababu tumegojea kwa muda mrefu, ni wengi wameuawa, sio hawa wawili. Hapo awali kuna wengine na wengine. Lakini hatujawahi ona justice yoyote ambayo imetendeka.
On his part, Kiambu Governor James Nyoro assured the residents that justice will soon be served, but after proper channels are there too.
Hii ni kesi ya serikali. Kwa sababu ukiuana hiyo inakuwa kesi ya serikali. Lakini kunakuwa na mpango ya kuwa na mawakili ambao wanakuwa ni marafiki wa koti. Na hiyo ndio sisi tumesema wale ambao wamejitolea kama Robert Gethire, na sisi tutaweka county solicitor wetu aingie huko ili tufuatilie hii maneno, tuhakikishe ukweli imejulikana na wale ambao wamefanya hili jambo wamepatikana.
Albert Njenga's body was found on the morning of 28th May 2021 in Tigoni, buried in a shallow grave behind a butchery belonging to a controversial businessman in the area. Daniel Masiza, TV47.
Well, thank you, Daniel Masiza, for that report. Now, crossing over to Mombasa County, Kenya Ports Authority has launched a modern dockyard tug jetty worth 500 million shillings in Mombasa County. The jetty, which is 50 meters long and 20.64 meters wide, has been refurbished after the demolition of the 70-year-old iconic jetty in 2020. The jetty is expected to enhance efficiency in port operations and improve marine craft availability. Take a look.
Friday morning. This jetty was launched in readiness for use following its refurbishment to a modern world-class design. The jetty will come in handy considering Mombasa is classified as a compulsory pilotage port that requires towing by harbour tugs and mooring boats that play a big role in ships to quay. According to the acting managing director, Engineer Rashid Salim, the project, which was undertaken during the COVID-19 pandemic, has swiftly given birth to a jetty which the authority and the staff will maximize its use.
Keeping the coronavirus at bay will enable the authority and its staff maximum benefits to the marine economy from the new tug jetty, which include increased port operational efficiency, improved ship turnaround time due to timely service and repair, and optimal availability of our marine crafts.
Speaking during the event, the chairman of KPA, General Retired Joseph Kibwana, said the authority is in the process of improving different facilities and implementing other projects, such as the new Kipevu terminal and rehabilitation of Kisumu Port, among other projects which will enable the port to be ranked among the best in the region.
KPA has been spending a lot of its resources to ensure that we have the best facilities. Right now we are, of course, completing the new container berth. We are also doing the new oil terminal. Just completed Lamu rebirth. We got Kisumu now rehabilitated, and very soon, Mombasa will be one of the best spots.
Elsewhere, the Kenya National Highways Authority KENHA board members have inspected multi-billion shillings roads in the coastal city. Led by KENHA board chairman Engineer Wangai Ndirangu and other officials, the team Ngamwe interchange site. Engineer Ndirangu said the government was committed to making sure it provided a good road network across the country to boost socio-economic activities.
The President has been spearheading and been has asked us to go and see that the Liwatoni Bridge is functioning well, and not only the bridge but also the adjacent facilities, how the matatus access, how that the project is well lit. And so we are also here in Mombasa to ensure that that project and that whole facilities are well established.
And on the issues that had earlier been raised by some of the residents along with the construction sites, the engineer said
there are some few issues around there, some relocation of power lines and also the land issues, and we have agreed on a mechanism that will ensure that it is expedited so that you can avail the contractor the site to progress with work.
The 1.9 billion shillings Likoni floating bridge is complete and is open for use by the public, but demand to hasten the construction of the Matatu terminal stage in Liwatoni has been growing loud. The various multi-billion shilling projects currently underway are set to change the face of the port city, boosting its economic prospects. Patronila Goren, TV47, Mombasa County.
It's time to take another short commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
You see the woman you keep on admiring? They might be going through the same pain that you're going through right now, the same grief that you're going through now, or even the same disease that you are suffering with right now. Why can't I see clearly? But the only difference between you and them is that, yes, they cried, but they managed to learn through the pain and they came out as conquerors.
I stayed for like 2 years without having a job. I cannot even do a simple thing like taking a shower.
So Joy, you can imagine every day you're waking up, going to work, and knowing for sure, you have a dead baby.
Join me each and every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on 19 with Joy Irungu here on TV47.
At Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits. Convenient for story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
Yes, they are a dime in a dozen, but the real meat on these bones comes from trying to realize them.
You just need to perfect anything. If it's drawing, if it's music, pursue it 100% because it's something that is giving back.
Join me, Violet Njoki, as I tell you the stories of these executed ideas, because yours could be next. Mondays, 7:30 p.m.
Hey, now that's hitting the right notes.
Welcome back. You're watching TV47 Weekend, and just to take a quick look at some of your comments on social media. Enosh Omodi says tuned in TV47 News at 9 p.m. Thank you, Enosh. Milton Wamsando, Yuxi Jeps, Dennis Kibiwat Kilel also tuned in. Keep talking to us. 22047 is our SMS line. You can also find us on social media at TV47 Kenya on Facebook, as well as at TV47K on Twitter. The hashtag to use is TV47 Weekend. Now, Migori Governor Okoth Obado was today put on the spot by Senate County Public Accounts Committee over a lack of proper documentation of various projects worth billions of shillings undertaken by his government. The committee gave him a month to provide relevant documentation. However, Governor Obado, in his defense, says a huge chunk of documents were raised in a fire incident at the county offices in 2019.
A process. From finance, payment was made for some boats. So the auditors came and satisfied themselves that the boat actually is there, LSOs are there. They were trying to work backwards. Then they reached a point whereby they could now not go further because the documents were burnt beyond recognition. We were operating a central store system. So where else? For example, if there were BQs, they got burnt at that point. How do you construct a BQ from that central location where they got burnt?
I have several departments that whose documents end up in the topmost department like finance. So there must be paper trail somewhere. Where because documents are generated from very many departments. I believe that is right. You can attempt to reconstruct because you have various entities. You can attempt to reconstruct and have information. That's.
I think that let me not revisit it. We even read what happened, plus the reports that were there. So it is still the same thing. I'm just wondering, at what time are we going to move away from this? I need some magic, maybe from you as the chair, and also as somebody coming from Migori County. You really need to tell me how I can do this. Because you must be having some magic which I do not know.
No,
let me know how I can get it.
That their investigation, both by the DCI and yourselves, did not point a finger at any individual. But I think the issue of concern here is what is being done to try and reconstruct these documents, because without reconstruction, there will be information gap regarding what the records of the county should be. So as a way forward, as we will be discussing and looking at this, we ask as a committee that in the next 4 weeks you give us plans of reconstruction. Try and reconstruct this information, and we would be very happy to hear from you that the information has been reconstructed. It's just trying to reconstruct. So we want to see a plan of reconstructing the information so that whatever can be reconstructed is reconstructed, so that for those who may need the information for any reason, like you saw the issue of the boat and others, they will have somewhere to get that information. Governor?
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has today officiated the launch of the rebranded 4K Clubs, an agricultural society targeting primary schools across the country. Now, take a look.
In a colorful ceremony at the Jamhuri Park in Nairobi, President Uhuru Kenyatta officiated the revival of the agricultural-oriented 4K Clubs. 4K is an acronym standing for Kuungana, Kufanya, Kusaidia, Kenya. Before its launch today, the club had been inactive since the early 90s. Speaking at the ceremony, President Kenyatta highlighted that the club is meant to support and empower youth in agribusiness.
The rebranding of the 4K clubs is a response to the need to
align our agricultural policies and programs to the dynamics of a fast-changing society, powered by the innovations, creativity, and talents of our young people. There is no question that Kenya enjoys a youthful, talented, and energetic population, which makes it well placed to harness the exciting opportunities on offer in agriculture.
President Kenyatta said that the produce from the club can also be used in the feeding programs of the respective schools.
And further, the produce from 4K Clubs project should form part of the supplies for the school feeding program, which would be a tangible demonstration of the value and vitality of these projects.
The president has emphasized against limiting students to agricultural courses, saying that the students could explore courses in fish farming and aquaponics.
I am committed towards entrenching fish farming amongst our youth in and out of school, and towards this objective, the government has already rolled out the aquaculture business development program in 15 counties.
The 4K Club was launched alongside the empowering Novello agribusiness-led empowerment Enable. The 2 billion shilling program is aimed at creating employment in agribusiness.
The Enable Youth Project, which we are also launching today, is one of the youth-targeted projects that will directly train and empower 10,000 young agripreneurs and create employment opportunities to another 50,000 youth along the agricultural value chains.
What is happening in the world of business? Members of the hospitality industry have pledged to collaborate with the government to help implement protocols to limit the spread of COVID-19. The engagement between the National Multi-Agency Command Center, the hospitality industry, and the alcoholic beverages manufacturers follows the adverse effects caused by the COVID-19 pandemic on the sector. The hospitality industry has been among the hardest hit by the pandemic, as efforts to restrict interactions resulted in the closure and partial reopening of restaurants, bars and hotels across the country, which also led to the closure of more than 15,000 bars across the country.
Initiative to support NMAC and the government to ensure that all the rules and regulations are followed. Besides that, we have started a national mask up campaign where we have a bulk of 1.2 million pieces of masks that we'll be giving for free to all Kenyans. Besides, we're also going to support the government in ensuring that compliance rate is upgraded, and this will come through something we're calling Bakumi. If Nyumba Kumi was able to net the tourism activities that we had, Bakumi will also work, which is a peer review where we're bringing 10, 15, 50 bars together to ensure that they always remind one another of following up the law, to ensure that they sit down and they form county committees and sub-county committees, which are going to enable our members in compliance with the law, and also report the errand members, which will be something that will come from the village, because we've really been blamed for breach of law. But according to our assessment, we've assessed and seen that it's only a few members or a few operators who are breaching the law.
And beekeepers in Baringo County have dismissed the proposed bill sponsored by Amos Kimunya that seeks the state to outlaw farmers from keeping bees for commercial purposes, except in an apiary or a home of bees registered by the government. The farmers say the bill is draconian, and they say that if the bill is passed into law, many bee farmers, especially in Baringo County, will lose their major source of income. Baringo and Kikuyu counties are major honey producers in the country, and the two are asal counties and therefore don't support sustainable crop farming.
No group drips, eh?
Like a place like Baringo, you understand that people depend so much on beekeeping and honey as a source of livelihood. And when this bill passes, I think it will be very bad to them, and it will just deny them their normal practice on this economical empowerment practice.
Upande huu kuna ukame, and the only thing that we depend on ni beekeeping. Sisi ndio tukue, tusome, tulelewe, ni asali imetulea. Secondly, it's medicinal to us. Mtu akiumwa na nyoka, akiwa na vidonda, hiyo ndio inatusaidia. Right now as we are speaking, walikuwa wanasema asali ndio dawa ya corona. We are the suppliers wakubwa wa Kenya. Sasa hii act yenye wanasema ati tutakuja ukue na apiary yako, ukuje ufungue sijui nini yako, you register. We don't even know the act ni gani hiyo wanataka tu register. Sisi hatuna nguvu ya kutengeneza apiary zetu. Tukiishi hivi, tunaishi kwa clan, land ya clan. Na hakuna vile utasema tuchukue nyuki yote tuweke mahali moja. Tumeishi na nyuki, ni kama tu watoto wetu, we interact, tumezoeana nayo.
And large-scale farmers, maize farmers in Olkirini sublocation in Ololunga, Narok South, are counting huge losses following crop failure that has seemingly been caused by distribution of fake seeds. The maize in several farms has developed head smut, which is a threat to food security. The farmers has since called on the Kenyan Seed Company to move in to assess the damages and compensate him for the losses he incurred.
Kuna eka 10 hapo, nimepanda 613. Mimi nimenunua tu mahindi hapa junction, senda tu kubwa hapo. Nimeenda tu kwa agrovet nikalete mahindi. Nilete 613 nikapanda. Naona ni mbegu ndio imechanganywa. Sijaijua sana mahali imetoka, lakini mbegu ndio iko na shida imechanganyika.
Hata hapa penye tuko saa hii si ati ni mahali mbaya sana. Tukijaribu kuangalia mahindi kama hii, sio mahindi yenye tunasema ati ni ugonjwa yenye imekuja na kiangazi. Mkijaribu kuangalia mahindi penye mahindi imekaa, mahindi iko sawa. Shamba chini unaona nimepiga dawa vizuri. Sijui shida ilitokea wapi, alafu hii ugonjwa ikakuja. Sijui ni Kenya Seed.
We've also instructed our sub-county agricultural officer to visit the areas in question, particularly Olkirini location in Ololunga division, to ascertain, to develop a professional report so that we know, is it a case of adulterated seedlings, or is it a lot of seed that has gone bad, or is it other extraneous factors that has led to this situation.
Take a look at what is happening in the world of sports, and our sportsman Dennis Otieno is on standby on the other side of the studio. Good evening, Dennis. What do you have for us this evening?
Salah, now tonight we will be telling you about the preparations of Team Kenya ahead of the 2020 Summer Olympic Games. We shall also be giving you a little bit of Formula One action. Now this and more coming up.